Countdown Conspiracy, Chapter 21, Part 1. Esteban crunches against the slim crack in the tunnel, and it starts to widen. Using my last bit of adrenaline, I grab Esteban from the abyss, and then I'm tugged backward into our spaceplane. The airlock closes. My arms are wrapped around Esteban, and Jean Pilot's arms are wrapped around me. "Are you trying to kill them?" Anna shouts at Tamaki over our headsets. "I thought they'd make it back faster," Tamaki replies. I can hear the distress in his voice just as clearly as I can hear Esteban's labored breathing next to my ear. "They're back now," Jean calls. "They're in. Go, go, go!" "Esteban!" I hold him tight. "Esteban, say something!" He lets out a slow, raspy moan. "His lungs," Jean says. "Get him oxygen. Rahim!" I scream, pulling Esteban with me into the main cabin. Esteban floats like a discarded plastic bag in the ocean, and his eyes roll back in his head. "Got it!" Rahim unbuckles and flings himself towards the medical storage wall, clicking a switch and yanking out a yellow mask. He shoves the mask over Esteban's face as our spaceplane twists around. "We're going in too shallow," Tamaki shouts. "We're going to have to do a skip entry. Hold on!" He yanks at the controls and we fling upward from the atmosphere, like a rock skidding over water. Boom! A silent explosion ripples through each of us and through our entire spaceplane. Esteban's eyes bug out as he coughs. Rahim pushes the mask tighter onto Esteban's face, and Jean Pilot grabs a hold of them both, steadying them. Behind us, fiery debris sails by. The space station is no more. Bang! "We're hit!" Tamaki yells. Bang, 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 bang! "That's it!" Ming exclaims as debris pounds against us in a shower of flames. "Take us in now!" "No!" Tamaki shouts. "No! 1 more minute! We have to!" Fire surrounds us, and it doesn't look like Tamaki's got a choice anymore. "Ugh!" he screams, fighting with the controls. Patricia Glower grabs onto the co-pilot controls, straining to keep things steady. "Landing gear is shredded," Najma reports. "The pitch angle's too steep. We need more RCS fuel," Patricia orders. Then we drop. "We're still hypersonic," Tamaki yells. "No way!" Everyone begins shouting at once. We spiral down toward Earth, our blue ocean flipping around the black sky as we punch through the atmosphere. The entire spaceplane rattles, and then orange flames cover the windows, blocking the view. "We're passing into supersonic. It's got to hold for longer." "Keep this at trim until 15,000 feet. Then we're going to have to jump." "No!" Tamaki yells, slamming his fist. "I got this. I can get us home. I can land this." "Don't be an idiot," Anna screams at him. "We don't even have usable landing gear. We're going to crash." My eyes fly open and I jump toward the side cabinet, hitting my shoulder blade against the wall as the ship turns. Gravity is back, and the metallic sides of this spaceplane aren't forgiving. "Parachutes!" I yell. "I've got parachutes!" I throw open the cabinet, gripping onto its handle as we spin violently. I pull out the 9 parachutes and start thrusting them at anyone and everyone I can reach, covering my head every other moment as we crash around inside. "So much for saving one working spaceplane," Najma says as I hand her a chute. "Let's just concentrate on saving ourselves." I latch my own parachute onto my belt loops. Now, to find out if these will actually do what I designed them to do. "Everyone got theirs?" Ming yells as Patricia wrestles Tamaki out of his chair and forces a parachute into his hands. We all shout confirmations except for Esteban, who is still in Jean Pilot's arms, wearing an oxygen mask. I wince, looking at him. "Esteban!" "I'll hold him," Jean says. "Don't worry." I nod, then punch in a code at the port door control panel, grasping the side to steady myself as we plummet. We're below 15,000 feet. Jumping range. It's now or never. The hatch blasts open and wind rips through the cabins. Raheem and Najma line up on either side of me. Tamaki grabs Anna by her good arm, linking his around hers. The ship is going to be torn apart. I can feel it. But one last hand on her metal interior, thinking about all the hours I spent working on her. Goodbye, Ambassador. It's been quite the ride. We line up and jump from the crashing space plane, holding hands as best we can for most of the way down. The parachute opens, jerking me upward moments before I splash into the ocean below. I flail, the parachute material washing around me in the salt water, temporarily trapping my arms before I can push through it and tear it off myself. Waves roll, and I tread water with more force than I've ever had to use at any beach or swimming pool in my entire life. But I am alive. I'm in the ocean, and I'm alive. I blink the salt from my eyes and breathe deep breaths, keeping my head above water as I sob. I'm home. I'm back on Earth. Where is everyone else? I begin to swim, shouting at the top of my lungs, Najma! Anna! I bob up and down, pausing to look around again. Esteban! Raheem! Tamaki! Hey! A voice shouts. I turn. About 50 yards from me, several people are clustered in the water. Miranda! One of them shouts back at me. Raheem, I think. My shoulder throbs, but I swim on, desperately trying to count heads. As I come up for air after each stroke. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in, breathe out. 4, 5. Breathe in, breathe out. 5. That's it, only 5. Who's missing? I reach the others, scanning. Jean Pilot, true to his word, holds Esteban in his arms, somehow still treading water with his legs. Okay, that's 6. Esteban, I notice, is still breathing. Next to them, Najma and Raheem swim near Ming and Patricia. But Tamaki and Anna are nowhere to be seen. A horrible thought hits me. Anna, her arm is in a sling. She can't swim. I scream, flailing in the water. Anna! Tamaki! I spin, surveying each section of the ocean, mapping it in my mind's eye, and looking for any sign of my friends. Anna! Tamaki! Then, there, a splash. Not 10 yards away, Tamaki surfaces, Anna clutched in his arms. I swim over to them as fast as I can with whatever strength I have left. Tamaki wipes his hair back with his free hand, his communication cap long gone. Anna spits up water next to him, shaking her head and coughing. You okay? Tamaki asks her. She nods, and I fall backwards, letting out a laugh of relief. Salt water splashes up around me, stinging cuts on my face. Tamaki grins, then winks at Anna, who's still gasping for breath, her gray eyes widening with each exhale. Hey, I wasn't going to let you drown, he says. Anna coughs some more, and I just know she's trying to get her voice back so she can give him a proper scathing reply. Before she can, Tamaki turns to me and toward all the others who have just reached us, swimming over. By their shouts, I can tell they're just as relieved as I am. Hey, did everyone see that amazing rescue job? Tamaki's grin turned sly. I finally got to do something awesome. The 3 astronauts had emergency lights and GPS signals on their flight suits, and not long after activating those, we were airlifted by helicopters out of the ocean. Now I'm in a hospital bed, wearing one of those ridiculously revealing hospital gowns, and clutching my mom, my dad, and my sister. They're all alive. Mr. Burnett did it. He got the bomb deactivated in time. And his reward was getting arrested. You're safe, my mom repeats over and over, her curly hair tickling my nose. My dad says nothing, holding us all together. They've just arrived in Florida at the hospital near Cape Canaveral, where we're all being treated. Somehow, after everything, we managed to crash just a few miles north of the Caribbean. Not a bad place to recover. And we are recovering. From what I've heard, Anna's shoulder surgery went well, and Esteban is due to be off his breathing tube later today. As for me, They just removed my IV drip this morning. I only have one more night for observation to make sure nothing else other than bumps, bruises, and dehydration is seriously wrong with me. My face and hands are still all splotchy from when I was exposed to space, but the doctor said that should heal in time. They said you were dead. Emmeline grips me tighter. The people on the news said you were dead. I look up at my mom, who grimaces. I doubt Emmeline watching the news was intentional on my parents' part. Well, I'm not dead, I say, pulling back to smile at my sister. I know. Emmeline sits upright on the bed next to me and bounces. I told them you weren't. I told everyone. I knew you'd come back. You're a genius and an astronaut, and I knew you'd come back, no matter what they said. I laugh a little, trying to shake away the memory of each moment we very nearly didn't return. Thanks for the confidence. I promised you I'd come home, didn't I? My dad ruffles my hair on top of my head. That you did. My eyes are still damp, and the corners of them crinkle as he smiles down at me. I lean over and put my arms around him. My door opens and then shuts nearly immediately. Not now, Mary. They're having family time. I hear a familiar voice say. I look up to see my PR team outside my hospital room window. Michael looks to have his hand firmly on the doorknob, while Mary actually jumps trying to peek through the glass. Thanks, Michael, I think to myself, smiling as Emmeline crawls into my lap. After failing in an attempt to locate Najma's room, I wander through the hospital halls, holding on to the latest bouquet of flowers that's been delivered to me. I accidentally stumbled upon Anna's room earlier, but didn't enter. She was with her dad, and they were both crying and holding each other. I guess she was wrong about him after all. News channels are on nearly every vid screen I pass, and I learn that around the world, countries are backing down from what was almost full-scale world war. Instead, Valorhart Industries is being torn to pieces. Various employees of the company, from engineering assistants up to the CEO, have been implicated, arrested, and interrogated. Mr. Burnett has become the face of controversy. His picture comes up frequently on the vid screens, with a lot of talking heads trying to decide whether or not he is a hero or a villain. He's both, and neither all at the same time to me.